Yeah. So as I was saying, so what I'm going to do today, the agenda of today's call is how I've overcome one of the bottlenecks that I had in the firm flow AI business, the agency, the thing that I'm teaching you guys. My niche is accounting firms. Your niche might be realtors. Your niche might be HVAC. Whatever you picked out, the niches we've given to you or the guarantees that you picked. My niche is accounting firms. Now, there were two issues that we had in the agency over the past month. Number one was this happened last month. Because I'm an accounting firm's niche, we have to use terms like we'll save you tax, whatever the case is, which Facebook does not like at all. So what it did was it shut down all of my clients' accounts, or at least mainly the three main ones that we have currently running. And what that did was, of course, it really annoyed the clients. Like, what the hell's going on? You said this would work, and now I'm having to come up with a new solution. So main thing that you have to realize about this business is it's all about embracing the challenges and the problems, and the rule of three iterations. I went through this last week. Watch last week's recording to understand what I mean by rule of three iterations. It just means whenever you have a problem, go through three iterations to solve it, and eventually the third iteration gives you the right solution. But because I've had enough experience of going through the iterations, I landed on the right iteration over the second time. So the ad accounts went down. I was like, okay, no problem. Let's order another agency account. An agency account is where you can run your clients' ads for them, and they don't need to use their own account. But anyway, we ordered a new agency account, and I thought, okay, problem number two, wording. We can't use financial term wordings. So what do? Now, I have a lot of experience with, the guarantees that I've given you, the typical agency style, coaching style guarantees. I'll guarantee this in the next 90 days, blah, blah, blah. So I use the same principle, but the unique mechanism, the how, isn't running ads. The how is their fractional CFO services, accounting services. Fractional CFO is basically, business coaching in simple words. My clients, accounting firms, because they're professionals, they can give proper coaching to construction companies, etc., to help them grow their profits and reduce their expenses. So that's the niche that I have within accounting firms. Accounting firms wanting fractional CFO services. Anyway, that's what I did. So I solved the ad account problem with ordering new ad accounts, and number two, the wording problem, by basically doing what I know best and just pivoting towards that. And the unique mechanism instead of marketing services is now fractional CFO services. So that's problem number one. Problem number two was that I was having a few issues with closing for my agency, and it's me being someone that's taken thousands of sales calls and not closing, a couple of deals in a row. It does something to you up here. So I was like, what's going on? But what ended up happening was I realized, because I'm juggling so much at once, I just completely forgot the main principle of sales, or basically closing, which is where the person is, like what the problem is, where they'd like to get to, and having that gap. And that gap is created through asking effective questions. Now, you can't create a gap, meaning you can't create a problem within someone's life. They either have it or don't. If they have it, you can solve it. If not, you just guide them to a better place. But for you to be able to sell a product that is high ticket, 2,000 or more, there needs to be a big enough gap from where they are right now to where they want to get to, which they will pay a lot of money to basically close the gap and get to their goal. Drop a 1 in the chat very quickly, please, if that makes sense, and then we will touch more on this topic during this call. A 1 in the chat if it makes sense, 2 if it doesn't. Perfect. Let's do it very quickly because we only have about 20 minutes left, and I want to go through a lot. Perfect. So the main principle of sales is create the gap with effective questioning. Where's the person now? Where would they like to get to? If the gap is big, then you can sell them a product that is 2,000 or more, ideally 6,000 or more. That's what I'm charging. So before I do carry on, I wanted to take a screenshot of the close that I got, just so you know that, okay, I'm not making things up. I will hide the name because I don't want it to, leak, because it is a UK-based company, GDPR stuff. Let's see. This is £2,200. You can see the name is Accounting Services. But this was a close £2,200. That's 3,000 USD, and that is 4,200 Canadian. Now, the reason why I showed you that was, okay, this is the person that we're now going to break down and how I actually closed it. What we'll go through is the effective questioning that I had. So I'm going to share the screen with the document that I have given to all of you to basically use, and this is the sales structure that I use, so you can see exactly how I'm asking those questions and creating the gap. So the topic for today's call is how to effectively ask questions and create the gap. Context for this customer, this client that I have, he wasn't really high intent, meaning he didn't really have pain. He was just there to see if maybe I have something new that he hasn't tried before. Plus, he has had agencies literally steal money, meaning taking money and then blocking him and whatever, not delivering. So he was already like a kind of an iffy prospect. So this is, and the recording that I'm about to go through is the sole questions that I asked. So the call structure that I have given you guys is basically this. This is the first call. First call is very simple stuff. I'm going to go through the second call where we're starting to ask those questions. Now, this is what I'll share right now, so I can kind of highlight as I'm going through it on the call, but you guys should be able to hear it, and I will confirm if you can. So I'm just going to start playing it for about 10 seconds. You just confirm with me, guys. One in the chat if you can hear it.
Okay, I am. Fine.
Cool. Were you able to review the website that I sent?
Yeah.
Cool. So what we'll do is we'll get straight in.
Everyone can hear it? Quick, please. Perfect. Yeah. We'll carry on with this.
Great. I'm going to show you what we prepared today. See if it's the right fit. Worst case, we'll just guide you through it. Sound good?
Yeah, that's fine.
So just to kind of recap kind of what we discussed on our last call and the context that you did give to me. Please do correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. You're currently doing about 50,000 a month. Most of your clients are about 200 to 300 a month. Where you're wanting to get to is about 90,000 to 100,000 a month. Getting there in a more smarter way, building the back end that can support that, deliver the quality that you want. Biggest thing at the moment that is kind of holding you guys back is how to market yourselves and potentially even the sales aspect. Apart from that, it's just mainly kind of getting to understand how this would work. That's the main thing that you're looking for. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. So just expanding a bit more on, the key goal that you mentioned about getting there in a smart way, charging at least 2,000 a month, getting those advisory clients or fractional CFO clients that you can potentially stack up, and then of course only work with them. Now that is, primarily you mentioned that you want to, in the next few years, be at a point where you're not working in the business but on the business, kind of managing certain aspects. Like, apart from that, is there any other key reason why you're wanting to get to the 90,000 to 100,000 a month goal?
No, it's just to really just kind of get the business so it can get to a stage where it kind of runs without me, basically. So for that being the next year, kind of aiming, so I'm 50 now, so kind of by the time I'm 55, 60-ish or so, maybe later than that, it might take longer. I'm still physically able to do it, so I don't know, I still enjoy it. Yeah. So yeah, in the next 5 to 10 years, just to kind of start stepping back and have things in place. So I've got the staff in place and the systems in place and the processes in place and the structures in place, etc. So I don't need to kind of necessarily kind of run the business on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is it currently that you handle everything in the business, or do you have key staff members?
I don't handle everything, so I don't do any hands-on work, so I don't do any of the processing work. I still, my kind of time is kind of mainly felt in kind of doing kind of coordinating the marketing, dealing with all kind of sales inquiries. So it's still me that does all the prospect and stuff, etc. Right from inquiry all the way through to meeting. And I don't really, so I've got a company that kind of follows up with them now. So I kind of do all the hands-on kind of prospect and meeting. It's kind of myself that does all the kind of, so I've got some clients that do business development stuff with, so kind of higher end stuff, so it's me that does that.
Right.
The idea is to get some in the process of getting the staff, there's kind of 3 staff members that are kind of below me to get them transitioned up to that. But to do that, firstly, we need to kind of free up their time by pushing the staff members below them, is pushing more of their work down so they have the time to kind of take that on. Then another thing, I think it takes up my time a lot is email, because I still get lots of emails from from people. And then I'm still review. And so basically, we've got kind of two client groups. There's kind of the non-limited company clients, or the kind of sole traders, tax return only, property clients, and the limited companies. So I still review all the limited company files together with the directors' tax returns. My other kind of staff member, she kind of reviews all the non-limited company stuff once it's prepared. So ideally, she would push down her stuff to other staff members, and I would push my stuff down to her. So that means I don't need to kind of review a lot. So that's kind of the thing we're working. Probably need to work next 6 months is pushing down the kind of the reviewing process of work to from me to her, and then she needs to push down from her to the two staff members below, and then they need to push down to the staff members below. And then I say the other thing probably is to get the staff kind of more involved. They're just being aware of the kind of business development stuff.
And with the, you looking for something like this that includes AI and is able to attract better quality people, is it that you're only wanting to work with those people long term and kind of, as you mentioned, kind of getting work to the other member and just mainly focusing on the business advisory stuff?
Yeah, so that would kind of be my aim. Is just I'm not dealing in reviewing files, I'm not dealing in emails, I'm not dealing in sales stuff. Purely just dealing in kind of the kind of business development stuff.
Business development. So, okay, got it. And like, what would be the ideal business development client that you would want to work with, and you could potentially charge 2,000? Is there any specific niche or any specific?
Probably kind of niche. Well, it doesn't need to be niche, but if it was niched, would be construction and related. So kind of construction businesses, electrician business.
For point number one, the ideal goal, I always try and keep like 3 main points. He said he wants to kind of free up his time. He wants to get 2,000 a month clients. Now I'm trying to ask him like a bit more specifics. Like what is it? More construction companies? What sort of companies do you want to offer your coaching services, fractional CFO services to?
Plumber businesses, plasterer businesses. It's all kind of to do with construction, architects, landscape, all those types of businesses. Just generally, they tend to be bigger businesses. They don't tend to be kind of smaller sized businesses. Probably generally also kind of family based businesses. So with maybe one or two or maybe one or two kind of family members that kind of run the business, who are probably of a size of at least $250,000 to $500,000 turnover. Who are wanting to grow, but have always kind of struggled to do it. They still do a lot of the processing either themselves or their partner does it for them. So, or they do a lot of the bookkeeping work and keeping stuff up to date themselves. They don't really understand their figures. They don't track their figures. So they don't know where they're going. They don't know how much money they're making per job. They just turn up day to day basically and just do their work. And so they're good at what they do. They're good at what they do. They're not good at the numbers, but they're interested in learning more about it, and are interested in growing their business.
Sure.
They do have a growth mindset.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And let's just say if we could get you those people specifically, how many would you want to see into your calendar each week? Or I know that you don't want to deal with the prospecting side or closing side of things, but ideally, how many would you potentially like to work with each week, or let's say even each month? Ideally,
those types of prospects coming through, probably kind of not loads because we don't have the scope to take on loads, but yeah, probably a maximum of, I don't know, 5 or something like that per month. So not loads.
5 per month.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, basically just aiming for 15 in the next 3 months. Is that the correct way?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Those types of that kind of type of client. Yeah, 15 in the next 3 months, paying somewhere between £1,000 and £4,000 per month. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. That makes sense. And when it comes to the ways that you've tried in the past of actually getting that done before, what has that been? Has it been specific ads or networking events or Yelp, or what have you tried?
So we have done Google ads in the past. We have done Facebook ads in the past. We have done cold out email outreach. We have done direct mail campaigns. We've done just generic posts on social media. We've done LinkedIn connection strategy stuff, etc. So we've done quite a few different things. We've also got a website. We've got SEO, but that's going to give you a kind of mixture of different things coming in. So yeah, there's 4 or 5 different things we've tried in the past.
Yeah, and either of them really work well, or did all of them kind of not really work as expected? What was the case?
We do get a lot of inquiries in per month, so we get between 20 and 40 inquiries, but they're a mixture. So those 20 or 40, there's probably only one or two that's your ideal kind of inquiry.
Right.
The rest are just, we can deal with them. So it's like smaller businesses so we can deal with them. But so we get consistently between 20 and 40 inquiries a month. So we do get quite a lot, compared against a lot of other accountants I know that just get maybe one or two inquiries per month. We do get consistently kind of at least 20, generally not more than 40 per month, but usually between 20 and 40 inquiries per month.
Right. But for you would ideally like anywhere from 4 to $500,000 per year turnover, family-run businesses, construction companies, roofing companies, etc. Those are the
as I say, it doesn't need to be construction. It's more a kind of the mindset of what they're doing. To have a growth mindset and open to learn and open for us to kind of just handhold them and open to coaching and open to learning really.
Yes,
so nation isn't really that crucial. It's more the size of the business and the mindset of the business owner.
Of course. And otherwise, if they don't have the mindset, they wouldn't want to pay that much per month and actually take on your coaching and improve.
Yeah, so the kind of people who want things done in the cheap and things that people are quite happy just talking along, just doing the same thing every month and just working away, then it's not really kind of
No, that's how the ideal mindset is, especially run a business like that where it's heavy on kind of making sure that you need to keep your margins and just keep track of numbers. And those are the businesses that tend to never track their numbers. I completely get what you mean. And is there any particular reason why you're looking for a funnel or something that can get you those people at the moment? Anything particular happen like that?
No. But I'm just always. I speak to loads of different marketing people. I speak to 3 or 4 at least a month to see what they can do. So so it's not like I'm just reaching out to you. I speak to 3 or 4, maybe more marketing people per month to see what they can.
See, like there was no intent, there was no like current pain he was trying to solve. Like it was just let's see what happens.
An offer, and then generally sometimes they can offer. I say and I'll go with them and give them a try. In other cases, I'll say no, it's not the kind of thing I'm looking for. So.
Makes sense. Yeah. And is there any particular reason why this caught your eye or anything you found interesting about by watching the video or from the ad itself?
I can't remember. It's probably just ad stood out, so I can't remember specifically what it was. But yeah, must have just picked. As I say, I do connect with quite a lot of people with ads. There's nothing. It's not like unusual. I do connect with 2 or 3 people a week, basically from like ads online and that to see what they can offer. So I do. So it's not like there's anything unusual about it. It's kind of I do it quite a lot.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And you're basically just someone that actually has a growth mindset. You're just looking for new opportunities all the time to actually.
It's always just see what somebody offers, basically, and I think that fits the kind of what we're looking for.
Makes perfect sense. So, what
I think they can help us do what they say I can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm saying what I'd like to do at this point, Mark, is just kind of repeat back what I did understand about yourself and the situation before basically offering you the done for you process, just to make sure that I have fully understood you, because it is a big responsibility. Please do correct me if I'm wrong, okay? So the goal is 90 to 100,000 a month, stacking only the people that mainly have these 2 characteristics, either at least doing $4 million a year in turnover and have that growth mindset that they want to be coached and they can actually afford to pay you 2 to 4,000 a month, and just kind of having those people actually get in touch with you in a more predictable way. Take about 5 to 15 of them basically in the next 3 months, and the goal ultimately would be to hand over the emails and just the basic stuff that you're doing on a day-to-day basis to other people on the team while you're doing more of the business development stuff and the fractional CFO coaching, etc. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what I'll do at this point is share my screen with you, show you how we help and who we help, and you can of course make an informed decision for yourself that this is the right thing. Sound good?
Yeah.
Love it.
Now, reading out from the presentation is exactly what I did with Ryan. I've already given you guys an example video where you can see how I go through the presentation. Now, this guy did ask me questions later on in the call when I did present him the presentation, etc. All I had to do was just to give him certainty. He already told me what he's trying to look for. He knows what he wants to do. He wants, 5 to 15 people a month that are doing at least $250,000 a year, that are coachable, that would pay for his fractional CFO services, coaching, and pay about £2,000 to £4,000 per month. And these are usually construction companies, roofing companies, etc. And he just wants to retire in the next 5 or 6 years, and basically just wants a simple way to do that, and then maybe you can work on the business rather than being inside the business. Very simple stuff. Now, if he's giving me objections, I'm just going to speak to him directly, person to person. No fancy techniques. That's why I hate, those YouTube videos that you'll see how to objection handle. It's not objection handling. It's like, bro, I don't know if this will work for me. I'll be like, bro, can I be honest with you? Look, you meet about 3 or 4 marketing agencies every month. There's clearly a problem. That's why you keep looking. You clearly would want to improve something. So if it makes sense, we've gone through the process. I'm giving you a guarantee. Why not just try it out? And you guys know that I charge about 6,000. So he was like, yeah, I know, but there's a lot of people that say the same stuff. I'm like, yeah, I get that. Fair enough, bro. But how about this? We don't have to do the whole payment up front. We could do a bit now and then a bit later on. So that's why we did 2,200 up front, and he's going to do the remaining a few days later. Simple as just speaking to another human, logically speaking to them. That's why I like working with business owners as well. They speak with logic. I hate it when people just speak with their emotions. Like, what are you trying to say? Are we being logical or not? So that's why I prefer to teach you guys a business model where you're just dealing with business owners rather than just coaching, etc. Because it's just a lot easier. It's easier to speak to them. It's easier to deliver to them. That's why I teach this business. Did it make sense, guys? Drop a 1 in the chat if it did, and 2 if there were certain points that didn't make sense. By the way, this is for people that have newly joined. This is not the whole structure presentation. I have a separate video that breaks down the whole thing. This was just a secondary call and a portion of that. So yeah, a 1 in the chat if it did make sense, 2 if it didn't, please. Let's do it quickly, please. We have like 4 minutes. Okay, there's 1 for most people. Just write it 2 if you don't understand it. I'll go through it again. That's the whole purpose of this call. It makes sense to everyone? Amazing. Perfect. That's what we wanted. So hopefully this helped, guys. Like, what could be better than, the guy that you're learning from? He's doing the same business, going through the same problems as you. It's a new business. I'm kind of going through the new business problems right now. I'm doing it alongside you, giving examples of live closes. What else could I give to you? I'm here with you. 1 or 2 tries of trying to make something work is not enough. You'll have to go through a couple of iterations. This call that you saw, this was after thousands of repetitions. And obviously I did have my first call as well, and I was really nervous. I was doubting myself. I was like, will this even work? How will it work? I have no experience. I just went through it anyway. This was after thousands of repetitions, but I promise you, to get close or 2, you'll not need thousands of repetitions. It's all a numbers game. But I really hope this helped, guys. I truly have intentions of being authentic, doing the thing that I'm teaching. I have, the missions apart from myself, which is orphans. And the reason why I share that with you guys is because I want you to take that as an example as well, that if you set goals that aren't just your own desires, Allah just makes things easier for you. So as long as you have the right intentions, things will generally just work, according to plan, inshallah. You just have to kind of stick through the repetitions or, the iterations that you have to go through until you land on the right answer. Any questions before we end? And if not, I will assume that you guys are experts now and you'll closed every deal that comes across you. So please tell me if you have questions right now. I'll wait a few seconds, but there's never usually any questions. Okay, there is one. Yes. You can unmute yourself. Or was it an accident, I'm guessing?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I feel like I missed quite a bit. I feel like I joined pretty late, and I just want to know what did I end up missing? Did I join on a call or what happened?
Yeah, no. You can just watch the recording. If that's the only question, then you can watch the recording. Do you have any other questions apart from that? This was the second call after. No. Not after the call. Okay, to make it simple, if you watch the video, of me breaking down the whole process, then it will make sense what I've just gone through. This wasn't the whole call. This was basically the second call. After the triage call. The triage call is this 10 to 15-minute call where you ask them, you basically give them a brief rundown, then ask them these basic questions and give them your Loom video or the presentation that I've sent some of you. That's what you need to send to them. But yeah, again, look, this was a training call. If you want more like this, there's no issues. We can do this every week. And you'll have one-on-ones with myself, Samira, Nyla. So if you guys need anything else, just shoot over a message. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I'll have to get going on to the next call. I'll see everyone next week. Assalamu alaikum.